Hello everybody. So in this video I will be taking a look at an alternate 2020 history of the presidential election. This was suggested to me in the comments to do Tulsi Gabbard versus Donald Trump in the 2020 presidential election. Start off with Tulsi Gabbard in the primary. She did not do very well at all. She was only polling 1 to 2% overall, and she was the only Democrat that was not invited to the DNC that was actually running for president in 2020. So turnout among the Democrats here will not be as high overall, but we'll see how she will perform throughout a general election here. We'll start this video off by filling out the safe Democratic seats. Of course, the West Coast would still be safe blue, Hawaii would be safe blue. All of these New England states here would be safe blue, as well as New York. Maine's first district would be safe blue, and Illinois would be safe blue. And honestly, at this point, I think Colorado still would have gone safe blue even with Gabbard as the Democrat nominee. No, in 2016 it was likely blue. No, it was actually lean blue. But the way this state has shifted overall, Biden won it by 13 points, so I think Gabbard would have won it more like 10 or 11 points in 2020. Now we'll go ahead and fill out the safe Republican states. That would be Montana, Wyoming, Illinois, Utah, those four. Both of the Dakotas and then Nebraska, as well as the 1st and 3rd Congressional District. Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina, Indiana, and Alaska would have probably been safe Republican if Tulsi Gabbard were the Democrat nominee. Honestly, Maine's second probably would be safe as well, because in 2016 Donald Trump actually won this district by a safe margin here, while in 2020 with Biden as the nominee he was able to reverse some of those trends and decrease third party vote share, so that's why the district went likely red in 2020. Now we'll go to the likely Democratic states. Start off with New Mexico. This one would be a very close one, whether it's likely or safe, because Clinton won this state by about 8 percentage points in 2016, while Biden won this state by under 11, but close to 11. Because of how close it was to being likely blue in 2020, I actually think Gabbard would have won this by about 9 percentage points instead of that 10.8 like Biden did. So that one would have gone under 10 points. Virginia would have also been under 10 points. It would have been like 7 or 8 points, because Biden only narrowly carried the state by over 10 points. It was 10.1, so it was barely a safe margin there. And Maine at large probably would have been about 6 or 7 points for Gabbard here. Biden was able to carry Maine at large by about 9 percentage points. If Gabbard were the nominee, the state would have not shifted nearly as much to the left as it did with Biden because of the lower turnout from the Democrats. Now we'll go to the likely Republican states. Iowa and Ohio, I do expect those would have still been likely Republican. And the state of Texas would have also been a likely Republican state if Gabbard were the nominee. It would probably been closer to Clinton's margin of losing, which was close to 9 percentage points. Trump would have won it by about that instead of 5 to 6 percentage points. The Dallas area, the Austin area, all those large cities and suburban areas would have not shifted hard towards the left like they did in 2020, but it might have shifted slightly towards the left then. And Trump would have done well with Hispanics in the Rio Grande Valley, just like he did against Biden. So the state would have still been about as red as it was in 2016 overall. And now we'll go to the lean states, starting off with the lean Democratic. Minnesota, that one I have some trouble thinking it could be likely or lean, but honestly, because Clinton only won it by 1.5 percentage points. I think if Gabbard were the nominee, there would still be not quite as much third party as there was in 2016, just because of the third party candidates, there being more options in 2016 than 2020. But I think the state would have been right under 5 percentage points, but really close to 5 for Gabbard here. And New Hampshire, this one probably been lean Democratic as well, right under 5 percentage points. Probably similar to how Minnesota would have been in this case here. And now we'll go to the lean Republican states. Florida, that one would have been lean Republican. Probably would have been close to that 5 percentage points, but right under it. In the Orlando area, Tallahassee area, those bigger areas, blue areas, would have not shifted as much to the left like it did in 2020. Therefore, the Democrat turnout here being lower would cause the state to be slightly redder here. And North Carolina, I think it would have also gone above 2 percentage points here if Gabbard were the nominee. The Raleigh area, the Charlotte area would have not had that high Democrat turnout like it did with Biden in 2020. And now we'll go to the tilt states here. Start off with Nevada. I think still would have been blue because the state was not ready to flip in 2020. It was after 2020 where the state really started to shift towards the right some. Clark County did shift some towards the right in 2020 though, but it would not have been enough for it to flip red even if Gabbard were the nominee. Do expect it would have gone right under 2 percentage points though, maybe like 1.5 instead of 2.5. And state of Michigan, I actually think Gabbard would be able to flip that one back for the Democrats in this case, because Biden won the state by a lean margin here. He won it close to 3 percentage points in 2020, and Trump, that was his narrowest state in 2016. So I think Gabbard would have been able to flip this one back, but not as big of a margin as Biden won it by. Nebraska second, even though it's a suburban district and they will not turn out high like they did for Biden, I still think it would have flipped blue just because Trump being despised in this Omaha area. I think it would have been tilt blue instead of likely blue. Now we'll go to the tilt Republican states. Start off with Georgia. That Atlanta area would have probably still shifted towards the left some just because of the growth of population. Many Democrats moving there. But I don't think the state would have quite flipped blue because Biden only narrowly carried the state of Georgia in 2020. I think Trump would have still won it by about 1 percentage point against Gabbard here. And Arizona, this one would have gotten a little closer too, just because Trump was despised in the state some in 2020 after attacking McCain. And that Maricopa County area would have still trended towards the left, but it wouldn't have been enough for Gabbard to win in this area just because Biden was able to turn out more voters during this election. And finally to Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Both of these were a pretty close one to call, but starting off with Pennsylvania, Biden had a regional advantage here because he was born in the state, which helped turnout amongst Democrats be higher in the state of Pennsylvania. But with Biden not being the nominee in this scenario, it would be Gabbard instead. I still think Trump would have been able to carry Pennsylvania here. And Wisconsin, the Wild Counties area would not have shifted towards the left really like it did in 2020. So I think it would have been a narrow Trump victory in the state of Wisconsin as well. So in this scenario, I have Donald Trump winning re-election here in 2020 for a second term against Tulsi Gabbard. And the main reason for this is because the Democrat turnout here would have been much lower than it was with Joe Biden, mainly because of her favorabilities being like 1 to 2%, of people voting for her in the primary, and she was not even invited to the DNC, even though she was one of the runners trying to run for president in 2020. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know what y'all guys think of this video. If you think any of these states should flip from red to blue or blue to red, or if you think Gabbard would have somehow won the election, or if you think Donald Trump would have won more electoral votes here, just let me know in the comments down below. Thank y'all everyone for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe, and bye.